standing in support.
All of your outlets find the time to properly recognize this historic change.
The Secretary of Defense defends President Trump's strikes on Iran. Buy now, pay later.
I just thought it was more financially convenient for me.
How payment plans could soon affect your credit score. And getting the party started.
And these kinds of events relax you and take you away from all the stress of everyday life.
A Latin superstar hosts a free concert in Miami. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Sabrina Lozano.
And I'm Dylan Bizet, and today is Friday, June 27th, 2025.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Secretary Pete Hegseth playing defense and showing his support for the president's strategy in Iran. The defense secretary is supporting U.S. strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites and criticizing the media coverage on it.
This comes after U.S. intelligence assessment suggested the strikes did not obliterate the sites. CNN reporter Leigh Waldman has more on the news.
The Trump administration is doubling down Thursday on the impact of the U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites over the weekend. In a press briefing at the Pentagon, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth criticized an early Pentagon intelligence assessment that stated the strikes did not destroy core components and only set Iran's nuclear capabilities back by months.
It was preliminary, a day and a half after the actual strike, when it admits itself in writing that it requires weeks to accumulate the necessary data to make such an assessment.
Secretary Hegseth also criticized the media's reporting of that early Pentagon report on the damage done.
I hope with all the ink spilled, all of your outlets find the time to properly recognize this historic change in continental security.
Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, deflected on questions regarding the battle damage assessment and says he's never been pushed to alter them.
I've never been pressured by the president or the secretary to do anything other than tell them exactly what I'm thinking, and that's exactly what I've done.
For the first time since a truce was announced, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, spoke out saying Iran will not surrender.
A great Iran and the word of surrender, they don't match. They don't match with each other. Is a joke, is a ridiculous thing to say.
In a Truth Social post Thursday, President Trump also challenged the narrative that enriched uranium had been moved from the nuclear sites before the U.S. strikes. Quote, nothing was taken out of facility. I'm Leigh Waldman reporting.
June is the start of intern season in our nation's capital. Dozens of interns from Miami have landed on Capitol Hill, chasing opportunity and stepping into rooms where decisions are made. Washington, D.C. Bureau reporter Laura Iglesias has more.
Moving to a new city for months is not easy, but for these interns, they see that their curiosity and ambition of making a real difference is much more important. FIU's Joyce Faria is interning at an organization called Faith and Politics.
I got the chance to come here before, in the winter for a fellowship, and it was just a week long, but in that week, I was sure I needed to go back to Miami and start working on trying to find something here.
Joyce says that being in the political hub of the country makes everything feel real.
It's also whenever you see the news, sometimes in Miami that kind of feels very far away, oh, this decision passed in Congress, or but here is kind of, you really feel it. You feel the weight of those decisions, and you feel why it's important. Vote and be civilly active.
A short walk away from Joyce's office is Gabby Parker, an intern from the University of Miami. She's got 2 jobs on Capitol Hill, one at the Florida House and the other one in the office of Florida Representative Brian Mast.
Other things that I do in Congress include legislative research, giving tours of the Capitol, helping respond to emails. I'd say everywhere you go in DC, you're going to be trying to network with people and trying to form relationships with people. Versus in Miami, I think every interaction is a little bit more relaxed.
The shift from Miami to DC hasn't been easy for everyone, but for some, the challenges have made the experience even more meaningful.
I feel like the biggest challenge is that you feel that you don't belong, that you are not part of it.
FIU student Claudia Litardo is working with the Organization of American States and an NGO that focuses on youth issues.
You never know what opportunities are going to be opening for you.
Whether it's navigating work or the metro, these students say the experience has already changed them. Reporting from Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm Laura Iglesias.
Canadian authorities wants details on one of its citizens who died in ICE custody. 49-year-old Johnny Novello was a lawful and permanent resident of the United States since 1991 who was being held at the Federal Detention Center in Miami on Monday. He was found dead, but still, ICE says they are still investigating the cause of death. Canadian officials say they didn't know about Novello's death until yesterday when they were notified.
A sheriff is out on bond this morning after 3 weeks in jail. State prosecutors say Marcos Lopez was allegedly involved in shielding an illegal gambling operation since its inception in 2019 in a county just south of Orlando. Lopez faces charges such as racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering.
A notorious drug lord from Ecuador is behind bars once again after security officials captured him. Jose Adolfo Macias was arrested on Wednesday. Ecuador requested for Macias, also known as Fito, to be extradited to the U.S., where he is set to face international drug and gun charges in New York. In recent years, Ecuador's gang-related crimes have been on the rise, with Macias as the man spearheading the violence. The U.S. Treasury sanctioned him and his rivals for narcos trafficking. Now, Ecuador wants him extradited to face drug and gun charges in New York.
More and more people are using buy now, pay later programs to cover their daily expenses. But what seems like a quick fix could actually affect their credit scores. Caplin News reporter Stephanie Tenya tells us more.
With the rising prices of basic services and goods, many consumers are turning to the buy now, pay later option to cover their expenses. More and more people in the United States are using buy now, pay later options to split their expenses without interest, at least at first. The ease of use has made this method especially popular among young adults and people dealing with the high cost of living. In its new evaluation model, that means if you miss a payment, your credit score could be affected, just like if you failed to pay your credit card.
Use the buy now, pay later. I've actually used it on these glasses. I have the Meta Ray-Bans. I just thought it was more financially convenient for me. I couldn't afford to buy all of it all at once, but I did really wanted them. Also, I needed glasses anyway.
Some consumers acknowledge that this system can be useful, but only if it's used carefully. While this platform offers immediate relief, they can also create dependency where there's a lack of financial education.
I'd say so, just because what you think, it sounds great, but you never know until you really look into the deep print of it.
Others believe it's not just about the access, but about having a clear purpose and being responsible with payments.
Basically, I think people need to be very educated, not just buying things for the sake of buying them, but buying them with a purpose and being responsible with the payments.
Amid the economic pressures, many consumers are left wondering if this flexibility, it's really worth it. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Stephanie Tenya.
The Marlins going for a sweep out west.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
I think that him having this show helps create community. Nowadays, I think that in this country, people live in fast mode and do a lot of things.
A show in South Florida bringing some island flair to the 305. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
A Soul Flow show. Locals were given a free concert by one of reggaeton's biggest stars. Ice Palace Studios lit up with música urbana as Manuel Turizo brought the heart of Latin culture to Miami.
From fans lining up early to an unforgettable night, Caplin News reporter Paula Sirignano was there to capture it all.
Tonight, Sirius XM and Pandora's El Pulso takes over Miami, headlined by Colombian singer Manuel Turizo.
Long before the show started, fans began gathering outside Ice Palace Studios, ready to be part of a night that celebrates reggaeton's powerful beat and the pride of Latin culture that pulses through Miami streets.
I think it's great that he's representing Latinos. He's one of the big names in Latin music, and he's putting a lot of effort into it. His music just has a way of keeping you alive.
Miami's vibrant culture was on full display, not just through music, but through the creativity of local artists. Ivan Roque, a Cuban-American artist from Miami, brought the city's spirit to life by sharing stories from behind his work and the iconic symbols that represent this community.
It's a love letter of our native and home city, Miami. You know, I decided to add many things that are very iconic to the city, such as we got the Cuban cafecito. You know, we always got to have that for sure. The maracas to represent all the Latin and Caribbean music that's here in the city. The dominoes with the 305, you know, sunscreen, the spray paint that basically makes the art, like the art aspect as well of the city. They're all icons of my work. And as long as with my vines as well, which represent, you know, the time and energy that we share with us all.
For many attendees, nights like this are more than just a show. They're a chance to come together, share culture, and escape the daily grind. It's a moment to feel connected, uplifted, and reminded of the strength found in community.
I think that him having this show helps create community. Nowadays, I think that in this country, people live in fast mode and do a lot of things. And these kinds of events relax you and take you away from all the stress of everyday life.
With every beat and every lyric, Manuel Turizo brought the crowd to life, delivering a performance filled with rhythm, emotion, and a deep connection to the spirit of Latin music today.
From reggaeton to romance, Manuel Turizo delivered, and if this is the pulse of Latin music, it's beating stronger than ever. For Caplin News, I'm Paula Sirignano.
The Miami Marlins swept the Giants in San Francisco last night. They won 12-5 last night, led by a 3-run homer from Kyle Stowers and a 2-run shot from Agustin Ramirez. Eric Wagaman broke a 5-5 tie in the 5th with a big double, and the Marlins took over from there. That's 4 straight wins for Miami and 6 in a row on the road. They're back at it tonight in Arizona against the Diamondbacks. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, Okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other.
on a deeper level. Father,
Cosplayer,
mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Sabrina Lozano.
And I'm Dylan Pizet, and you can get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.